What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosley, that's Scott Savage, and you can join us at InsideTheGame.ca, YouTube at Inside the Game Official. Thanks to our friends over at Fired Up Network. You can hear us over on SoundCloud and all those streaming platforms around the world, and of course, those TV streaming networks everywhere, just like Roku, Amazon Prime, Samsung Plus, Jinx Esports TV, and a whole lot more. Scott, we start off today with one of the biggest games that I'm anticipating for this year. What's on today's show?
That's right, we start off with new Spider-Man 2 console, controller, and trailer reveal yesterday. We have Ubisoft earnings call with some mystery. Hogwarts Legacy still tops European sales charts, and High on Life might be coming to PlayStation.
Looks like the deal's up there with Xbox now, isn't it? Dude, there's a lot to talk about, so let's go. It's time for the show. Scott, topic of the show is a huge one today because we're talking about Spider-Man 2. And boy, do we have some details. Yesterday, Insomniac took to San Diego Comic-Con and revealed a bunch of stuff, including a new console and a brand new story trailer. We're going to break it down. We've got our own thoughts, but first, kicking it over to Andy Robinson at BGC. PlayStation and Insomniac Games premiered a new Spider-Man 2 trailer at San Diego Comic-Con on Thursday and revealed a special edition PS5 console and controller. Dude, I want the new console.
That console looks sharp.
It looks so sick. I can't wait. I'm like, I might need to get one of these. I know my wife needs a PS5, so here's my opportunity.
Yes, try.
That's true. Very true, Scott. You do need a PS5. There's no doubt about that. The trailer sets up our story in the game while also giving fans their first look at Venom. We saw Kraven initially revealed, right? But now we're getting into what Venom looks like, and yo, that's the Venom I wanted. Dude, that looks so good as Venom. And I got thoughts on who it is too, but we'll talk about it. Senior narrative director John Paquette told the PlayStation blog, at the beginning of our story, our Spider-Men, not man, Spider-Men, because there's Miles and Peter, are at the top of their game, but both Peter Parker and Miles Morales are struggling with their personal lives. Miles is trying to find time to write his college entrance essay, but he keeps procrastinating and focuses on Spider-Man work instead. Meanwhile,
That's
Peter...
pretty reasonable.
Well, yeah, school comes first, believe it or not, kids. Meanwhile, Peter is underwater on payments for Aunt May's house. That's right. Spoilers for the first one if you didn't know. Aunt May passes away. But he can't sell. It means too much to him. And just like Miles, Peter tries and fails to find a balance with so many responsibilities. MJ wants to help Pete with the mortgage, but her job is on the line now that Jonah Jameson is back at the Bugle and looking to clean house. Our heroes have arrived at a confluence of crossroads with uncertain features and some tough decisions ahead. Dude, I like to set up. The trailer revealed a little bit more though. The Spider-Man 2 limited edition PS5 bundle is a custom PS5 console designed with a brand new cover and the controller, the DualSense wireless controller. For those who already own a PS5 console, PS5 console covers and the Spider-Man 2 DualSense controller will be available to purchase separately. I do like that, Scott. Maybe I just pop off my purple cover. I do like my purple cover though. So
I do like the idea of the purple cover.
Dude, it's nice. It's really nice.
I still want to see a solid black PlayStation 5, but that's just me.
Yeah, you can paint it. It's just plastic. I got the white one here. I still got the white shell. I was contemplating painting it myself, but that takes time.
Paint It Black is a good song. I'm inspired.
The design was inspired by the in-game symbiote that's taking over the console and controller, but you can still see some of the underlying red with its tendrils. It's if you haven't seen it, check it out. You're gonna see it obviously in today's episode, but it looks great. Let's break down the trailer, Scott, because I've got a couple thoughts on the trailer, how it's all set up and what we're getting into. Scott, what are your first impressions about this story revealing trailer?
Oh, I think it's a nice place to start. Everybody's got their own little issues going on, and hopefully they all come together to triumph in the end, but I'm sure there'll be a few bad guys in the way of that.
Yeah, we do see the return of Kraven, right? He's bringing his goons in there and he's on the hunt. He's looking for his ultimate trophy. But we also got the introduction of Harry Osborn, who we didn't see in the first one. So that was interesting to see that revealed during the trailer, and it sets things up. Harry says at one point to Peter, we're going to heal the world. Well, after this happens, we do see Venom. And the reveal of Venom is very cool, but he also states we're going to heal the world, which then puts the 2 and 2 together. Scott, I've been doing some digging, and I guarantee you the new Venom is Harry. And we often thought it might have been. They weren't going to take the Brock approach. They were going to go in a different route, and here they are. I do appreciate Insomniac making their own version of the Spider-Man stories, right? Like, very cool.
It seems we're not getting Hobgoblin in that case.
No. Because, if you do follow the comics, right, Harry is not. It depends. There's so many different versions.
There's many timelines now, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up. But either way, we do also see that the symbiote suit, we do know, has taken over on Peter's personality as well. And there's a conflict there. And MJ and Miles are talking at one point saying, hey, this isn't the Peter we know. You need to help save him. And that's kind of also turns into Miles' bit of a problem to help save Peter from the symbiote suit, which then, like as we say, takes over Peter Parker. And then at one point throughout the trailer, Scott, Peter is in the symbiote suit, which is then controlling the lizard. I was like, it is like a brief second in there, and that was a nice touch. And the lizard looks so cool. I can't wait to see like the big reveal in the game of the lizard and that whole story unfold. The more I see, the more I'm excited. The more a part of me wants to go on media blackout and just run away until October when the game is out. We can actually just play it.
Yeah, the idea that this is still coming this year in October, this just made me again recall, holy, this has been a packed year. Oh, Game of the Year discussion is going to be an absolute bloodbath.
Yeah, we're in for one heck of a year. I was talking with Jinx, actually, friends of the show, friends of ours. We were on their network as well. And it's been the game of the year discussion so early on already. But this has been like the best year in gaming alone. And we're talking about like, what other year do you think compares to this? I'm like, at this point, I don't think there is a year that can compare to this year. And we're not even done, right? Like, that's the other highlight too. But getting back to the trailer, Scott, you see Miles talking to one individual with long hair, and you're looking at him going, you look familiar, but who is that? Well, it is Lee. Lee doesn't ring a bell. He should, because he's also known as Mr. Negative from the first game. So that's the other side. And Miles says to him, quote, you don't know what you took from me. That is the death of his father. That's what that is touching on. I'm like, I like all these little references, Scott, starting to kind of play into each other and this, that, and the other. Yeah, like I said, right? It just gets me more and more pumped for more Spider-Man. And I was wondering, when we come off of Spider-Man 1, and then we get into Miles Morales, which was not really a true sequel, just a spin-off, right? But it introduced Miles, which then allowed Insomniac to bring him into the next game. Did you ever anticipate this coming around?
No, certainly not. Even I'm still getting used to the idea of two Spider-Men in general, but I see now it offers a huge opportunity for different storytelling and different takes and different motivations and stuff. I like how this is all coming together.
Yeah, absolutely. And it will be all coming together on October 20th. We'll be getting our hands on it. Dude, I cannot wait. Will this take over my game of the year? I don't know, because there's so many games out. It is a crazy, crazy battle ahead of us. But yeah, we're definitely pumped. Let us know over on Twitter at the official ITG. What did this new trailer do for you? Scott, topic number 2 is an interesting one coming from Steven Totillo from Axios over on his Twitter account as he covered Ubisoft earnings call. He states this: confusing times on the Ubisoft earnings call where they first talked about their mystery, quote, large game, end quote, set for January to March of 2024. As if it wasn't Star Wars Outlaws, which they also discussed. But when asked if the large game isn't Star Wars Outlaws, the exec said, don't assume anything. So, Scott, what is going on here with Ubisoft? Were we getting another massive game out of Ubisoft next year? Is this when they say, okay, I just kind of clued in, dude, is this the next Assassin's Creed game, right? We talked about how Red is coming, and this is going to be their big blockbuster of 2024. Is that what they're getting into? That seems pretty early, doesn't it? I guess. Yeah, it does seem early because we're getting Mirage here in October. And then if you set up, when are we getting Star Wars, Scott?
I'm not certain.
I wonder, has there been a release date actually mentioned about that? I'm going to check right now. But what are your thoughts? What game are we going to get here?
Well, Assassin's Creed actually makes a lot of sense only because there's so many projects in development. But because of that, I also would have expected a little bit of leaks to kind of give that away if it were indeed Assassin's
It is Ubisoft,
Creed.
Right?
That's true, but it makes me wonder, is Hex perhaps a little further along than we're expecting? Or is this, when it's a mystery game, what exactly does that mean? Does it mean we truly have never heard about it? But what are the odds they bring a game all the way to completion and we have not heard via leaks?
That would be impossible. This is Ubisoft, who are known for multiple leaks. They cannot seem to kind of keep a secret inside, which is unfortunate because some of these games would have such a monumental moment of a reveal, but we always seem to get news like a week or two or even a month ahead of the announcement, and it's just unfortunate. But granted, though, when Star Wars Outlaws came out and that was revealed, that was a huge moment, right? Like we were like, wow, what is this? So there is the odd one that's there, but yeah, if it's not Star Wars Outlaws, it has to be. I'm thinking, right, if I'm going along with their vast library of games, there's only a couple I can really think about. Assassin's Creed, their next one, but that's not a big secret either, right? That's not a mystery game. Red has been announced, so we do know that we're getting into that. We're getting into Red, Jade, Hexy. There's so many Assassin's Creed things in the works. What if they re-reveal Beyond Good and Evil 2? That is something that's been dormant for over a decade.
That would certainly satisfy a large game requirement here. It's either Skull and Bones comes to mind as well, but this doesn't change my opinion on Skull and Bones.
Not at all. Okay,
I'm still not certain we'll ever see it.
Well, very questionable. Here's where I'm set. I'm setting up Ubisoft's game releases right now. We're gonna get Mirage. We know we're getting Mirage in October. December comes along, we're getting the new Avatar game, right out of Ubisoft. Then we get into Assassin's Creed, we get into Star Wars Outlaws, and in between those two, you drop Skull and Bones, just so they can get carried along by everything else that's in that mix. Right?
Yeah, you have to put it somewhere in their earnings call that's going to offset a lot of increased income, because I suspect it's not going to sink very well.
I think it's going to sink like a brick is what is going to happen. That game, I'm hopeful, dude. I really hope. The problem is with me, when you go to Sea of Thieves, you get in there and it is you're in there with your friends. Like last night, it was me, Kyle, and Steve were doing the Monkey Island DLC, right? And we're like, this is awesome. But we're all together and we set out on our ship and head off to Mealy Island together, Scott, together in one boat, right? Our ship, away we go. Here's Skull and Bones. You get a ship, I get a ship, and that person gets a ship, and we all set out as a crew. And granted, that works for GTA. This does not work in this case here, right? And it works for Sea of Thieves to get in there, and you get it as a crew. You want to be a crew. And I think where Skull and Bones is lacking is that ability to come together versus everybody having their own ship. I love the idea of it being a more, I want to say, realistic approach in the art style. And then I can go in and really craft my stuff, right? Because Sea of Thieves is very, very cartoony. But Skull and Bones took a different approach. They took that Black Flag approach, which there are now rumors as well of Black Flag getting a remaster. So is that the big surprise? As like, I just kind of, that one came out of, there's just so many questions. But Skull and Bones, dude, definitely terrified. I don't know if the game structure is really set out on a right path for gamers who are now looking for co-op games to play together in that sense, instead of you having a ship, I have a ship, and then somebody else and somebody, like, it's just
it feels like it's kind of being structured almost as if it were an aircraft dogfighting kind of game where we're a squadron. But that can work in the ocean, but it's not quite as conducive. which also got me thinking, what if they put together a Skull and Bones but in the air, where we're an air crew repairing and manning a B-52 bomber or something? I would have a lot of fun with something like that, and that would also get us way away from Sea of Thieves.
It would, yeah. That's the biggest problem I think is Skull and Bones is also fighting, is that they have to go up against Sea of Thieves, which is on
The
Game Pass,
king.
which has just been a juggernaut and keeps bringing out new content on a regular drop, right? This is now turned into a longevity life games of service model for Sea of Thieves, and it is working. It is working really well.
I think it's been 5 years.
Yeah, dude, I need to go buy a monkey so I can put him on my shoulder when I'm riding Sea of Thieves. Yeah, it's so many
I have
questions.
a cat.
Though.
We'll see how the cat can transfer into Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
I think you can have a cat.
You can. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can. And now they have dogs. Oh, there's so much, man, for Sea of Thieves.
I'm coming back.
Yeah, well, I want to come back to the topic of Ubisoft and what we're thinking we're going to get here, but there are just a lot of questions. I'm excited if we don't know. I think that's kind of the other side of it, too, that maybe we actually don't know what they're going to reveal. And hopefully it comes out swinging, because Ubisoft has been on a bit of a rocky roller coaster lately, and they could use some uprise. Don't forget, too, January, we're also going to get the new Prince of Persia game.
Oh, that's a huge one.
Right? So, like, there's a lot in the works right now for Ubisoft, and if they have this mystery game, dude, I'm pretty pumped. Scott, topic number 3 is more with the Hogwarts Legacy. I've been back into that world and loving it so much. I'm just so invested. I'm actually doing every side quest possible, which is hard to pull me away from other games that we normally work for on the show. So to see that it's still here, well, here's today's topic. As Hogwarts Legacy topped European game sales in the first half of 2023, dude, it's still killing it. Like, this is the best game ever coming out of Warner's. I'm telling you, they must be making a boatload of money. And hopefully we get a Hogwarts too, because I'm down for that. Tom Ivan over at VGC. Hogwarts Legacy was comfortably Europeans' best-selling game in the first half of 2023. Sales of Warner's fantasy title, which was released in February, were 69% higher than those recorded by Elden Ring in the first 6 months of 2022, when it also released in February and was Europe's biggest game. That's according to GSD data published on GamesIndustry.biz, which covers physical game sales in major European markets and digital sales from most leading publishers, excluding Nintendo and 505 Games, which is kind of odd. But
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wonder why.
I don't know. I like to see worldwide sales. I think that's the biggest thing, not just European.
Yeah.
I get European market is big, but hey, us Canadians, show us some love. You know what I mean? Despite only being
often forgotten about over here.
I'm telling you, we are everywhere. I get it, but still,
We're in a big shadow. It does make a little sense, but
I get it. Despite only being released in June, Diablo 4 was the second biggest game of the year. Activision Blizzard said on Wednesday that over 10 million players experienced Diablo 4 worldwide during its launch month, making the World of Warcraft studio fastest selling title to date. Until they dropped their patch, Scott, which just apparently messed up a ton of stuff.
yeah, season 1 is really pushing a lot of people away right now.
Oh, that hurts. I know my brother, who's got 200 hours, is absolutely furious with the game right now and doesn't even know he's going to go back. It's very interesting to talk to him about his journey and where this patch has dropped and taken place, and it's not a good thing. But FIFA 23 took the number 3 spot on the European sales chart for the first 6 months of the year, with sales up 24% compared to FIFA 2022 during the same period in 2022, despite being released in May, and the fact that data doesn't include digital sales for Nintendo games. Switch exclusive The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, never heard of it, charted at number 4. GSD said was the best
play it every night.
Dude, I'm still playing that game. Best physical game during the first half of the year. Grand Theft Auto came at number 5. Who doesn't own Grand Theft Auto 5, Scott?
Yeah, that's the real surprising one here.
You know what it is? Is people own it, but they keep buying it because I bought it 4 times already. So like that's
yeah, it's people like yourself that are trying to get other people re-addicted. So
Yeah.
I'll get you one. Come on, join.
Oh man, yeah, it's worked. It's also followed by Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Red Dead Redemption 2, shout out to that game, rest in peace, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, NBA 2K23, and Resident Evil 4. 76.1 million consoles and PC games were sold in Europe during the 6-month period. which was up slightly year over year. Scott, games industry, dude, is a massive market, and I love to see that Hogwarts is right there on top.
Yeah, that really does make sense. My whole generation, I know, has bought it.
Dude, I loved it. I'm loving it. I'm back in doing all the side quests. Still looking at that platinum. I'm like, do I go for it? Do I not? There's a lot of fetching to do.
I think you should. I think you should just make sure you clean it off. This one's good. And what are we gonna get for a sequel? And when? It might come up, and then you'll wish you had cleaned this one off.
Yeah, I am literally going through absolutely everything, and just it's got its hooks into me, right? Like every side quest, I'm getting all the gear, I'm getting all the field pages. Like if there's something to do in that game, I'm in it, man. And it's very cool. But yeah, big sales coming out of here, and it's just unstoppable. GTA 5 still there again.
It's never gonna go away.
Scott, it looks like High on Life is coming to PlayStation consoles. Tom Ivan over at VGC says Squanch Games High on Life looks like it's making its way to PlayStation consoles, as spotted by a Twitter user. The PS4 version of the game has been uncovered in the PlayStation backend. The unannounced version was found by Orbis Patches, a site which tracks PS4 games updates. The update in question included general bug fixes and improvements according to the patch notes. High on Life was released on Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, and PC in December of 2022. But Scott, it sounds like the exclusive deal is now up with Xbox, and it's going to be making its way over to PlayStation.
Well, that's great. If anybody was curious about it, try jump on in. There's a huge amount of humor behind the game. It does get incredibly dark, though. This is not a game for kids.
No, absolutely not, dude.
No.
I'll never forget that kid though in the game. It was one of the funniest moments I think I played in a long time. And yeah,
the whole family.
If oh man, I'm telling you, if you played this game already, you know that kid and you know how that outcome was, and it was a funny moment for sure. But yeah, pretty cool. Sounds like the exclusive deal is up. Now it's going to make its way over. You often see this within the industry, right? Well, PlayStation will sign for so long, whether it's 6 months, 3 months, a year, who knows? And Xbox does the same thing, but then it allows the developers to then switch over and expand their library of platforms to go to as well. So it's very cool. Xbox Series X and S, though, I think the game did pretty well. So yeah, I had a good time. You can check it out on PlayStation.
Very curious to see how the sales go on the PlayStation side, because there is the controversy regarding Justin Roiland, and I don't foresee that having good effect on sales.
Well, Scott, our day wouldn't be complete if we didn't announce what was out today, and there's just one lonely title. What do we have?
We have one single release, and that is Pikmin 4 on the Nintendo Switch today.
Have you ever been into the Pikmin series, Scott?
I've watched a little bit of it from afar, and oh, it is tragic. It's a bit like watching Saving Private Ryan.
Man, what? I don't. Oh boy, oh boy. It's never been something I've been interested in. Yeah, I do not know, and I'm okay with that. Oh man. Well, that'll wrap up ITG Daily, everybody. Thank you so much once again for hanging out with us. Until next week, we'll be back. I'm Drew, that's Scott.
And we'll see you inside the game.